I know of a young couple that went to a non-Muslim marital therapist because they were having bedroom problems, and their therapist advised them to watch porn together, which they called erotica, right? So that's haram. It's not even a question. So you want to go to Muslims who understand your values. Have a mentor in marriage. So you want to avoid getting marital advice from people who are having their own relationship issues. And similarly, you want to stay away from getting advice from newbies who are still learning the ropes themselves. I tell this all the time to young people. Don't get your marriage advice from your best friend who got married last summer. You want to talk to somebody who has a long-term, successful marriage of his or her own to find out how to make it work. And you want to try to find one wise, discreet person to consult. You don't want to be telling everybody your problems. Now, if someone you respect says that you need therapy, you probably do. So don't be ashamed to do whatever it takes to save your marriage. Give it your all. Most people come to therapy too late. Therapy should not be your last resort. It should be your first resort, okay? Now, if you do pay for marital therapy, only seek out trained professionals who understand and respect the parameters and priorities of your religion. You'll be surprised at how often well-meaning but spiritually clueless therapists will prescribe the haram or divinely prohibited as medicine for a troubled marriage. Oh, by the way, just talking about therapy, the only thing that really spells the end of a relationship is if both of you have thrown in the towel. That's the only time when a marriage can't be saved, if both people have pretty much given up. So, inshallah, most marriages can be worked on and saved, inshallah. Again, talking about people who don't have major vices and addictions and personality disorders and all that. Set yourself up to soar spiritually. Now, ladies, he may be your best friend, or maybe he's not. Same with the brothers. She may be your best friend, or maybe she's not. But either way, you don't want to neglect your girlfriends. And brothers, you don't want to neglect the guys who are your core crew in your life. You want to take time to nurture those bonds that help you be a better person. There's going to come a day when, ladies, you're going to need the support of your sisters, and the men are going to need the support of their brothers. And you don't want to let falling in love make you fall out of friendship with your tribe. So you want to consider connection with your soul sisters or with your brothers as part of your self-care. But what you have to remember is that your spouse and your spouse's needs always take precedence. So if after being married, people routinely mistake you for being single, you're doing something wrong, right? Attend religious classes together, either in person or online. The point is to keep growing together spiritually. You may not grow at the same pace, and that's okay. You're two different souls. The point is that you want to respect the same teachers, and you want to understand each other's motivations and your end goals. Instead of listening to people who say, "Don't let marriage change you," amend their words and change it to, "Marriage should only change you for the better," inshallah. Take an occasional break and travel, even if you can only afford to do so locally. We're very lucky in California, lots of beautiful places to explore. But make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala your ultimate destination. And that's the end of the talk. Open it for Q&A. Exactly. Alhamdulillah. And so I think we can open it for Q&A now. So practicing daily activities, honestly, I think the best way to develop it is just by having curiosity and just by asking. And even what you just did right now, just being honest and saying, this is hard for me, this is something I struggle with, and what is it that you need from me to allow me to be successful in this? Somebody who wants to succeed with you is going to help facilitate, inshallah, but they need to know what your struggles are and what your limits are so that then they can help you with that. That's what a real life partner does. They know what makes a person feel awkward or uncomfortable, and then they help set them up for success because they recognize that vulnerability in them. So I would say just articulate it. What is the role of tasawwuf in your experience? So tasawwuf often gets translated as Sufism. For me personally, it was very eye-opening to meet teachers of tasawwuf. And one of the things that was very beneficial in working with teachers who taught the science of tasawwuf is that it really helps you to recognize what are the diseases in your own heart that you have to work on. Instead of always, we tend to look at other people and look at their flaws and look at, oh, well, if only they would be better about this, or if only they would fix that. But what tasawwuf helps you do is look at what you have to improve in yourself, right? It holds up a mirror. And I think it's important. And if you can study or learn with your partner, then there's only benefit, inshallah. Again, just, you end up respecting the same teachers, you end up meeting with people who have similar values as you and similar goals as you. So, yeah, this question, how can women work on being soft and feminine in relationships, especially if it's not natural for them or if they are typically the problem solver? I had a friend who she once said to me that she was trying to figure out why, alhamdulillah, she wanted to know why certain things were successful in my marriage compared to her, like, because she was struggling. And one day she said, I figured out what it is. She's like, you're a damsel in distress. She's like, your husband feels needed by you. And he feels important. And the truth is, I wasn't faking it. I actually did need him for a lot of stuff. But he's always like kind of saving me and helping me out. But it really, I guess, I didn't realize this, but I guess it was like, it showed in like how he felt about himself and his ego. Whereas my friend is very, very capable. Ivy League educated, engineer's mind. And she said to me, she's like, I think the reason I'm struggling, and I think there's truth to this, she said, I think the reason we're struggling is at the core of it, my husband knows I don't need him. And he knows I would be fine without him. And that was playing a big role in the struggles in their marriage. And so there is something about making women want to feel that their husbands are capable. That's a big primary need for women. Even if women make more money than their husbands, they want to know that their husbands could take care of them if they had to, right? But at the same time, many men, I would say most men, want to feel that they're needed. And as a result of being needed, that they're respected and they're appreciated. And that there's a role that they play that nobody else can play.